This Wednesday has finally arrived, bringing with it a wave of midweek deposits that countless seniors and disability recipients have been anxiously awaiting. For many people who receive supplemental security income or disability insurance, this day could be the moment their money officially appears in their bank accounts. According to updated information from the Social Security Administration and the Federal Processing Schedule, today's deposits are moving more quickly than usual. If you have been checking your bank app repeatedly, wondering whether this Wednesday will finally bring your payment, you are not alone. This midweek deposit wave is very real, it is active, and for many people, it lands today. Waiting for a fixed income payment can be confusing and stressful. Holidays, weekends, and late-night processing updates often make people worry that something is wrong. That is why it helps to understand how the system actually works. The official deposit calendar, federal processing data, and bank release patterns show consistent trends, and when you know what to expect, you can breathe a little easier. The goal is simple: clear, honest information that explains what is happening without fear, confusion, or unnecessary worry. Millions of seniors, retirees, veterans, caregivers, and people living on disability rely on these predictable payments, and everyone deserves to understand what is happening with the money they depend on. When you live on a fixed income, each day without your deposit can feel like a personal crisis. Bills do not wait. Groceries and medications never pause. Utility companies do not delay late fees simply because a payment arrives slower than expected. It is completely normal to feel anxious while refreshing your bank app again and again, especially when the cost of living keeps rising. Many people face the same situation this morning, hoping that today is the day their deposit clears so they can breathe a little easier. You are not alone in that feeling, and nothing about your concern is unreasonable. Today is part of the regular, staggered payment structure used by the Social Security Administration. Under official guidelines, certain recipients are scheduled to receive their payments this Wednesday, based on the timing rules established many years ago. The Treasury Department then pushes those payments through the automated clearing system in batches, which arrive at various times depending on each bank's internal release schedule. Some banks release deposits shortly after midnight, some in the early morning, and others later in the day. Supplemental security income usually arrives on the first day of each month unless that date falls on a weekend or federal holiday. Disability insurance payments, however, follow the Wednesday system unless a person qualifies for legacy timing rules established before the late 1990s. Retirement and survivor benefits also follow the Wednesday cycle unless linked to a special category. This means today is a major payment day for millions of people. And if you fall within the designated birthday range for this week's cycle, then your payment is scheduled for today. Many people receiving disability insurance, survivor's benefits, or retirement benefits are part of this Wednesday's group. Some people also return to the regular cycle after updating banking information, which may place them into today's wave. Others who receive survivor benefits tied to someone whose birthday matches this week's group may also receive payments today. People who receive supplemental security income only, people who receive payments on the 1st or 3rd of the month, and people whose accounts are under review or held by a representative payee may not be part of today's distribution. To understand how this looks in real life, imagine someone in her early 70s living in the Midwest. She relies on her monthly retirement check to manage groceries, prescriptions, and utilities. Her birthday falls in this week's designated range, and her deposit arrived shortly after sunrise. That early confirmation brought real peace of mind. Another example might be a man in his mid-40s in the Southwest who receives disability insurance following a workplace injury. He supports a teenager and typically sees his deposit late in the morning. Today, he is watching his banking app closely, hoping the funds arrive in time to avoid a utility late fee. These examples are common and represent what millions of people experience on deposit days. There are 3 primary payment structures used by the Social Security Administration. The first structure is the first day of the month, which mostly applies to supplemental security income. The second structure is the third day of the month, reserved for people who qualified for benefits before the late 1990s. The third structure is the staggered Wednesday schedule tied to birth dates. Birthdays in the early part of the cycle receive payment during the second Wednesday of the month. Birthdays in the middle portion receive payment during the third Wednesday. Birthdays in the later portion of the month receive payment during the final Wednesday. Today corresponds to one of those major Wednesday releases. Once payments are approved, the Treasury Department sends them through the automated clearing system. This federal network pushes deposits to banks in multiple waves. Early release banks may post funds shortly after midnight. More traditional banks often post funds between mid-morning and early afternoon. Some smaller institutions post deposits later in the business day. If your deposit has not shown up yet, that does not mean something is wrong. The money may still be moving through your institution's scheduled release window. This year's payment amounts include the active cost of living adjustment. For many people, that adjustment provides a small increase in monthly income, although any rise in Medicare premiums may reduce the net amount received. A person who normally receives about $1,800 a month, for example, may see an increase of around $40 from the cost of living adjustment. But if the Part B premium rises by $15, the net increase becomes around $25. These are rounded examples, but they show how the final deposit amount is calculated. There are also helpful tools that many people do not know about. Certain forms allow you to adjust tax withholding so your deposits remain predictable. Other programs help reduce or eliminate Medicare premiums for people who qualify. Additional prescription support programs can significantly lower medication costs. These resources can make a meaningful difference, especially when every dollar matters. The positive news for today is that if you are part of this Wednesday's payment group, your deposit is already moving through federal systems and on its way to your bank. Midweek processing tends to be faster, and many banks release funds earlier than they used to. Upgrades to federal automation systems have also reduced delays in recent years. For many people, today's deposit will help cover groceries, medications, transportation, utility bills, and other essential needs. Even a small monthly increase can provide at least a little extra breathing room. Still, it is important to acknowledge the reality many people face. Even with the payment arriving today, financial pressure remains heavy. The cost of living is high, and in many cases, the cost of living adjustment does not fully offset inflation. If your check does not stretch as far as it used to, that feeling is entirely valid. You are not doing anything wrong. Prices have risen across nearly every category, and millions of people are feeling that same strain. You have already navigated difficult months in the past, and you will make it through this one as well. There are practical steps you can take to stay ahead. Logging into your online Social Security account allows you to confirm your payment schedule and verify recent deposits. Reviewing your bank information ensures there are no small errors that could cause unnecessary delays. Applying for prescription assistance programs can reduce medication costs more than many people expect. Medicare savings programs may help lower premiums or remove them entirely for eligible individuals. If you are considering private Medicare plans that offer partial premium refunds, it is wise to read all fine print carefully so you know exactly what you are agreeing to. Adjusting tax withholding through the voluntary form can help stabilize the exact deposit amount you receive each month. Reviewing the next month of expenses and identifying your largest 3 costs can help you plan around the essentials. Local aging agencies and state health insurance counselors can also provide free assistance with paperwork, appeals, and benefit reviews. The next rounds of federal payments will continue to follow the standard Wednesday schedule. Cost of living announcements typically arrive during the autumn months each year, providing the updated increase for the following year. Federal payment processing timelines continue to be refined, which may help reduce delays even further. There are ongoing discussions about additional financial relief for seniors and people with disabilities, though nothing is finalized. Updates will continue as more information becomes available. As today unfolds, remember that you earned these benefits through years of work and contributions. They are not gifts. They are part of a system you helped fund. Even if the financial pressure feels heavy right now, you have faced difficult moments before and made it through them. You have already shown strength in countless ways, and you will continue to do so. Take care of yourself today and know that you are not alone in this experience.